Okay, so here we're going to have to take a couple of steps to get an equation of a line. So in these examples, you are only going to get 2 points, and you're going to have to construct everything else from that. So as you can see, we're going to try and get a slope-intercept form again. In the previous section, we used the point-slope formula to write an equation of a line when you had a slope and a point. That wasn't the y-intercept. But now if you're only given 2 points, meaning you're given like x1, y1 and x2, y2, if you're given those 2 points and no slope, you can still get the equation. So the trick that you have to do is do this in a couple of steps. You can use those 2 points to calculate the slope. So your first goal will be calculate m. Once you have that slope, then you can choose either of these 2 points that you want, choose one of those points and the slope, and use the point-slope formula, y minus y1 equals m onto x minus x1. And you don't have to use the 1s, you could use the 2s if you feel like it. If one has less negatives in it, one has a 0 or something and it's simpler, one doesn't have fractions, you can choose either of the points that are convenient to you. And once you have that, then you take it and you do all of the algebraic manipulation to get it into a y equals mx plus b format, because it is so much easier that way. Okay, so we have 3 steps to do. We're going to calculate m. We're going to pick m at a point and plug it in, and then we're going to rearrange it. So here's the example that you have on your sheet. You're given 2 different points. You're given the point 1 comma negative 4 and the point 3 comma 5. Okay, so the steps you're going to go through to solve that, to get this equation, first you have to get step 1, you're going to calculate m. You're going to get the slope. So we'll call this x1, y1, we'll call the second point x2, and y2. We'll remind ourselves of the slope equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's the change in y divided by the change in x. So my y2 is 5. Subtract, my y1 is negative 4. My x2 is 3, and my x1 is 1. So when you divide or subtract there, you're getting 5 plus 4 over 3 minus 1, which is 2. So you get 9 over 2. We're not writing that as 4.5, we're just leaving it as 9 over 2. Now you get to choose either one of those points that you want to use. So let's choose the 3 comma 5 because it doesn't have a negative in it. And let's pretend that's our x1, y1 in our point in this formula. Okay, so now that's all step 1. Step 2 is going to tell us to take this equation, y minus y1 equals m on x minus x1, and use this point for m, and you can use either one of the points, and I feel like using that one to get this value. And you get the same equation if you chose the other point, which is really kind of cool. So let's plug it in. So here you would have y subtract y1, which is 5, equals m, which is 9 over 2, x subtract 3. Alright, so if you'll remember our steps, we're going to distribute the 9 over 2 onto both things in the bracket. That'll be our step here. So now we're doing step 3, by the way. We're starting to distribute it. So now you have y minus 5 equals 9 over 2x minus, remember when you multiply 3 over 1 times 9 over 2, you multiply the tops together and you get 27. you multiply the denominators together, and you get 2. So your last step is to take the 5 to the other side and make it a plus. So I'll write it up here. You have y equals now. You still have the 9 over 2x. You still have the minus 27 over 2, almost wrote over 5, over 2. And then you put plus 5. That 5 is 5 over 1. You have to make a same denominator here. So you multiply it by 2. So now we get 9 over 2x minus 27 over 2 plus 10 over 2. Now that they're the same denominator, we can combine them together. And in our last step, you get 9 over 2x, negative 27 plus 10 makes negative 17 over 2. There is the equation of the line written in the y equals mx plus b format. So just to review your steps that you're going to do with your 2 questions, you're going to take the 2 points given and calculate slope. So first goal, get m. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Once you have the slope, you pick either one of those 2 points and plug them into y minus y1 equals m unto x minus x1. Once you're done that, you juggle it and rearrange it around to get it into y equals mx plus b form. So I'll give you a couple to try on the bottom of the worksheet, and then we'll go over corrections on how they worked out for you.